Good afternoon and welcome. We're going to reconvene to open session at 6:01 p.m. Announcements. All open sessions of the Board of Trustees are recorded and streamed in real time at www.fuhsd.net. Can we please stand for the flag? Right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. Board of Trustees, Oscar Caralampio, President, is present. Eddie Jones, Vice President, is not here today. Teuna Rodarte, Clerk.
Present.
Paul Christensen, Trustee.
Present.
And Chris Haskell, Trustee.
Present.
Student Board Representatives. Nanny Cruz.
Present.
Kira Hart.
Present.
Charlize Polson.
Present.
Superintendent Ilsa Garza Gonzalez.
Present.
Thank you. Informal review of governing teams norms. The Board of Trustees approved norms are that we be respectful, be approachable, be open-minded, be communicative with no surprises, be willing to listen, be prepared, and be trustworthy. Report from closed session. Public Employment Discipline Dismissal and Release Government Code Section 54957. Nothing to report. Conference with legal counsel pending litigation, Government Code Section 54956.9D1, nothing to report. Conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9D2, nothing to report. District negotiator is Ilsa Garza Gonzalez, Superintendent. Employee organizations are FHSTA and SEIU. Unrepresented employees, classified management, certificated management, and confidential employees. Readmission under suspension expulsion cases number 08F2425, 16F2425, and 18F will come to a vote within the board meeting. Suspended expulsion case number 01F2526 will also come for a vote. And denied readmission case number 11 F2425 and number 12 F2425 will come for a vote as well. We will now adopt the agenda. Can I get a motion, please?
I will move that the board adopts the agenda for the regular meeting of October 15th, 2025 as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Ms. Rodarte, second by Mr. Christensen. Do we have any questions, comments? None? Perfect. Ms. Cruz, how do you vote?
Oh, hello. Oh, hi. Oh, aye. Sorry.
Thank you. Welcome. Ms. Hart?
Aye.
Ms. Polson?
Aye.
Mr. Caralampio votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones is not here, and Ms. Rodarte.
Aye.
Thank you. Recognitions. We will now recognize Fallbrook High School CTE Culinary Pathway students. Mr. Santo Cruz, culinary instructor.
Actually, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the talented advanced culinary students who prepared tonight's delicious board meal of fried chicken and waffles. Under the expert guidance of Mr. Santo Cruz, these students continue to impress us with their creativity, professionalism, and dedication to the culinary arts. Your hard work and hospitality made tonight's gathering even more special. We are proud of you and grateful for the care you put into every dish, and we invite you to come forward to share your names and your role in preparing tonight's meal.
So real quick, I'll just introduce them. These are three of our finalists right here. This is Kayla, Carmen, and JD, right? They're actually, I'm really excited because they will be three of our first students here to go to CCAP competitions this year and bring back hopefully the gold.
Yes.
We'll see what happens.
We're very excited. We had a great time making chicken and waffles today. Last time, if some of you were here, we made Philly cheesesteaks. we really just went in and did, we've already made chicken and waffles before, so today when we executed that again for you guys, it was kind of like an easy step-by-step. We just threw everything together and did it.
Well, I'll just say it was absolutely delicious, the chicken in particular. It's not easy to get fried chicken like that right, and you guys did a really good job.
Thank you. We're glad you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, if
Thank
you
you.
ever open a catering business, just call me. I'll buy it all the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
guys.
Next, Fallbrook's Finest, October 2025, Student Recognition, CTE Culinary Pathway Students, Marley Stephanie Good.
I actually have to read
Oh,
something.
sorry.
If I could have the board step in front of the dais, as well as our student board representatives. So as customary, we have 3 recognitions this evening. The first is for Fallbrook's finest students, and we are recognizing Marley Stefan Good and Wyatt Nanez. We are proud to recognize Marley Stefan Good and Wyatt Nanez as this month's Fallbrook's finest students for their outstanding contributions to our recent CTE Advisory Committee meeting. These advanced culinary students went above and beyond in planning, preparing, and serving a delicious meal for our CTE teachers and industry partners. Under the direction of Mr. Santa Cruz, Marley and Wyatt not only executed the meal with professionalism and care, they also took full responsibility for setup and cleanup, ensuring a smooth and welcoming experience for all attendees. Their dedication, work ethic, and pride in their craft exemplify the spirit of excellence we celebrate in Fallbrook. Thank you, Marley and Wyatt, for representing our school and CTE program so well, and it is my understanding that Wyatt and Marley were not able to attend the meeting this evening. Next, we would like to recognize Fallbrook's finest department, and this month the recognition goes to our Fallbrook High School Science Department, who will be recognized with a Fallbrook Challenge coin. We proudly recognize the Science Department for their highly engaged and productive collaboration focused on instructional strategies that truly support student learning. In recent conversations, every teacher actively participated, sharing best practices, reflecting on classroom realities, and making evidence-based decisions to improve outcomes for students. The tone of these discussions was both positive and purposeful, a reflection of the strong rapport and trust within the team. We deeply appreciate the vulnerability shown in sharing what's working and what's not. This openness is a testament to the supportive culture they've built together. A special thank you to Department Chair Marin Pinnell, whose grace and leadership continue to inspire and empower her team. Her commitment to fostering a collaborative and growth-oriented environment is evident in the department's success. Thank you, Science Department, for your dedication to excellence and for modeling what it means to be student-centered educators. And with us this evening, our Department Chair, Marin Pinnell, Bianca Cutler, and Arlene Gomez, teachers within the department. Yes, if you could please come forward.
Hello.
Hi. And if you could stay for a picture, please.
If you can slightly turn this way and huddle together, please. Closer, closer. Tight.
You're fine, you're fine. Thank you so much for all that you do for our students. And next, we are recognizing Fallbrook's finest community partner. This evening, that honor goes to the Paula Band of Mission Indians. It is with great gratitude and respect that we recognize the Paula Band of Mission Indians as Fallbrook's finest community partner. The Paula people are an integral part of the rich history of our region and have long been connected to the story of our school. Recently, I had the honor of meeting with tribal representatives to reaffirm our shared commitment to the warrior imagery that has become a meaningful part of our school's identity. The imagery is not only a symbol of strength and unity, it is a legacy. In fact, the name Warriors was originally proposed by Henry Rivera, a proud member of the Paula tribe, whose vision helped shape the spirit of our school community. We are grateful for the Paula Band's continued support and partnership, and we look forward to walking together in celebration of our shared heritage and future. With us tonight, if you could come forward, Vice Chairman Brandon Johnson, Tribal Secretary Teresa Villa, Committee Member Carla Trejo, Guest Patricia Quijada, and Paula Band Member Diana Duro. Thank you for being with us this evening, and the board will recognize you with a challenge coin as well. And then if you could stay for the picture, we would greatly appreciate that.
If you can please stay for the picture. Once again, if we can just get tight.
Any way you want.
Yeah, that's perfect.
You look fabulous.
Okay, smile. Yeah, do you want to maybe switch off? Yes, that's perfect.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Thank you. And that's Fallbrook's finest for tonight.
All right.
Thank you. Next, we have public comments. The Fallbrook Union High School District Board of Education encourages and invites the public to comment on agenda and non-agenda items. Individual speakers will be limited to 3 minutes. Per legislation 1292, the board will give twice the allotted time to a member of the public who utilizes translating technology assistance to address the board. Total input on any one subject will be limited to 20 minutes and may be extended at the discretion of the board president. Comments on non-agenda items will be heard at this time. Comments on an agenda item may be taken at this time or when the agenda item is discussed by the board. Speakers will be called in order by topic and card is submitted. The district silence should not be mistaken for agreement with public comments. Rather, the board remains silent to comply with California law, avoiding legal entanglements and or to protect the privacy of those involved. Do we have any public comments?
We do not.
Thank you. Communications and reports. First, report from student board representatives.
And I would like to welcome, before they get started, Neni Cruz from Ivy High School. Welcome this evening. As you know, we have alternate student board members, and Neni is one of the ones that will be working with us, and I understand that you're also part of our Community Engagement Initiative, CEI, Ms. Gardner? No, that was the other.
We have several new leadership representatives this year, but Nettie is an outstanding representative for Ivy.
Yes, but thank you for being here this evening. We look forward to your report.
Good evening. With the school year in full swing, our students are continuing to work hard in their studies and maintain the weekly pace set by them and their instructors. Our seniors are heavily encouraged to fill out their FAFSA application as soon as possible and begin looking at potential scholarships, both locally and nationally. Our counselor, Mr. Miramontes, has also been meeting with seniors to discuss post-secondary plans and answer any questions about the above topics. Although there has not been many events at the school itself, there have been many upcoming and previous events for OASIS students to participate in. This includes the homecoming dance on October 18th, as well as the industry credit opportunity that was held on the 8th at the Ivy campus. Our students are also able to attend Spa Day, which is hosted by our lovely superintendent, and is an event that I myself am looking forward to participating in. District-wide, all juniors successfully completed the PSAT on the 8th. In other news, this month has had many community service opportunities, most notably with the annual Wellness/College and Career Fair, Trunk or Treat. This is a great opportunity for students to gain service hours and also learn some useful information about future careers and colleges. That is all I have to report for tonight. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Nenny Cruz, and I want to start off by saying how grateful I am to have the opportunity to represent Ivy High School. Ivy has helped me in many ways, but most importantly, they helped me see how important I am as a person and how far education can take you in this big world. One topic I wanted to talk about today was about our leadership class that is held during advisory every Tuesday by Dr. Iverson, and how this class helps our school now and hopefully future students who attend Ivy. In this particular class, you get to create new fun events for the school and also help motivate other kids to attend school and get good grades in the ways they need. For example, one fun event we created for our seniors this year is Senior Sunrise. As someone who is in leadership class, we get to take care of all the planning, advertisement, and get to encourage the parents of our seniors to help our school make this event happen. For advertising, we get the chance to buy erasable window markers with teachers and principals' permission, of course, and advertise the event there, and also include motivating quotes as well. Because of course, sometimes teenagers need it. And we also made colorful posters as well as write on concrete outside classes with chalk for advertisement. For planning, we had to decide who will be cooking, what will be made for breakfast, and who will be supervising the morning of. We also have future events we were working on, such as Spirit Week. We're still in the process of planning it, but I'm excited to come back in December and give you some more information about it. My other topic I want to talk about was our field trip to Miracosta College. Throughout the day, we went to 2 different locations. One was the Miracosta TCI, where they introduce you to different programs that are high-demanded careers, such as engineering technician, machinist technician, welding, biomedical equipment technician, and HVAC technician. The other location we visited was the main campus in Oceanside, which they also introduced us to the wonderful programs they had and the services they give to their students. For example, they had a great program for a full-time 4-semester registered nurse program along with a certified nursing assistant program. For services, they showed how they help students who need help with housing and money for transportation as in Ubering and public buses. They also talked about how FAFSA can help students with tuition and also showed us their school food pantry, which in my opinion is amazing for those who really need it. This is my report on Ivy High for the month of October, and thank you for listening. Hope to see everyone in December.
Good evening. I'm happy to be back this month to update you all on the upcoming plans and past events from last month in ASB. My alternate, Ashlyn Trujillo, was going to be in my spot today, but unfortunately her sport got in the way, so she'll be representing next month. Since we last met, ASB has choreographed many events and involved various clubs across campus. Saturday Academy has taken place at the high school from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., helping students in various subjects, especially pre-calc. Many of the sports this fall have been very successful and are soon to be entering the league finals. Hispanic Heritage Month began on September 15th and ends today on October 15th. To commemorate and celebrate this month, ASB worked alongside the Club Ballet Folklorico to put on a breathtaking lunch performance highlighting the rich culture here on campus. Mr. Rodriguez helped
MC the event, and explained what Hispanic Heritage Month was to our students and why it is important that we celebrate it. He also highlighted how it gives a voice to Hispanic individuals, helping highlight their achievements and greatness. Most recently, ASB planned, filmed, and edited a video called a lip dub. This lip dub was created to include varying clubs and sports across campus, creating a stronger community at school and creating an opportunity to sponsor our homecoming dance. In this video, students would lip sync to the lyrics of a song and walk through campus. The video included JROTC, girls volleyball, football, dance team, girls field hockey, and girls tennis, as well as band and color guard. This video was a success, posted on October 3rd and reached over 16,000 views on Instagram and other social media platforms. Our ASB class was brightly recognized for this project at our annual field trip called CATA, where we go to a different school with many other ASB classes and learn about how other students lead their schools. This is a project that my whole class, and especially the vice president and I, are very proud of. It was months of work that turned out to be really successful, just as we intended it to be. Moving further into this week, there is currently a Spirit Week to promote homecoming and excite students for the upcoming dance this Saturday. Monday was Pajama Palooza, which is PJs. Tuesday was Glow Squad, which was class colors. Today was I Don't Sweat, I Glow, which was sports-related attire. Thursday was Throwback Thursday, which will be decades. And Friday is Glowcello, which is anything vibrant, neon, or glittery. Friday's homecoming floats are currently being worked on and will be displayed at the home football game, themed Lights Out, and a friendly competition will be held between the grades to determine which grade had the best float. Saturday will be the homecoming dance from 7 to 10 p.m. ASB students have been working very hard to ensure everything goes off without any complications. Looking further into October, the freshman class will be putting on a haunted house that will be set up here at school for the entire Fallbrook community. After October, students will settle into the next trimester and more events held by ASB are to follow. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have report from principals.
Good evening, everyone. Oh, that's very loud. Good evening. I wanted to start by again thanking Nenny for stepping in today. I've been fortunate to work with Nenny for 4 years, and this year Ivy has really worked on expanding student leadership, so we have different kids functioning in different capacities. Nenny also does our live students announcements every morning, and so they've brought some joy and energy to our students at school. They're actually getting there early just because they want to hear the announcements, so thank you, Nenny, for your report, and Kira, as always, you're wonderful, and Charlize, thank you. Speaking a little bit about the TIG sessions that we entered, at the start of this year, we implemented a new advisory program we call TIG for Tiered Intervention and Guidance, and the leadership that Nenny was speaking about is just one capacity in how our school is functioning a little bit differently this year to try to provide more support and also opportunities for enrichment for our students. So the program that Nenny's working with, they still focus on the tiered intervention, guidance, and support, looking at academics, looking at attendance, look at college and career, and then help students advocate for what they need. Some of it parallels to what the great work that's been happening here with Warrior Pride Time. Students also identify areas of deficit or need for them, and then they actually work with their mentor teachers to schedule into interventions on Fridays so that when they're not attending our enrichment opportunities, they're also getting very targeted support in areas where they need additional help. Since we are now far past the midpoint of the trimester, we have some of our first really strong data from progress reports, and we've seen already a 9% reduction in failure, so less than 11% of total grades, 9% of total grades was in the failure for, or at risk for failure category. Overall, our academic grades have improved substantially, with 88% being C or better, so on an A through G track. So we know that's really early data, but it's very promising data, and then it's also built in a system that allows our students who are strongly focused on building culture and climate at our school to do some of the cool things like what Nenny was speaking about earlier today. As both Kira and Nenny mentioned, we had a really successful PSAT day, which it's hard to believe was only about a week ago. Additionally, our students at both Ivy and Oasis had the opportunities to complete their food handlers or certification or their OSHA 10 certification if they were a senior. Looking towards some of the upcoming events that we're focusing on to continue to build culture and climate, we have our first field day of the year, which works on team building activities. That'll happen on the 28th of October. Additionally, we had a great Dr. Rios workshop earlier this month, and we'll be hosting our second Dr. Rio parent workshop on October 29th. On the last day of this trimester, our students will be doing their first ever senior sunrise, and that is really being put together by the Fallbrook, or the Ivy community rather, where parents are coming together and community members are coming together to donate items so that we can do something nice to celebrate the beginning of the end of our senior student journey. Another upcoming event that we have in our CTE pathways, our photography classes on November 14th are going to be taking our seniors in cap and gown out to the beach and ocean side, and they're going to be doing a project based on natural scenery photography or natural environmental photography and lighting, and we'll also be conducting our senior portraits at that time with cap and gown. That's to tie into our power of projection, because we're solidifying our students' journeys to their graduation day, so we're excited about that opportunity for both our seniors and our photography students. We are looking forward, as normal, to our annual Ivy Thanksgiving celebration on November 14th, and we will be culminating that celebration with our annual Ivy Trimester Awards, where we'll be focusing on academics attendance, our TIG of the trimester, and awarding our official industry credentials to our seniors who completed those programs. At Oasis, we continue to remain full with high demand, but we were fortunate to be able to reallocate one position from Ivy to help support the wait list until that starts to settle down a little bit. Again, great turnout for our PSAT day. And finally, our CCI team will be returning to Ontario next week. It'll be a combination of our teachers, staff, students, administration, as well as 2 new families and leadership students who will also be participating, with a goal of trying to address the root cause and resolutions for chronic absenteeism, which we know Ivy faces, but also impacts our district as a whole. Any questions that you have for me this evening? All right, and thank you.
All right, good evening. This is a big month. I feel like we have lots of stuff going on, so I'm going to do an overview. But all 3 of these ladies did a great job of sharing so much that was happening. Beginning of October, we had the pleasure of recognizing something we haven't done the last couple years. We kind of fell out of sequence with it, with the shift to trimester, and we've really worked on bringing it back 3 times a year to celebrate students on honor roll. So this first fall round celebrated the spring honor roll recipients. So that was 216 of our 10th graders, 232 of our 11th graders, and 235 of our 12th graders, which represents roughly half of our students in each grade, more or less, and does not include our 9th graders. So once we add our 9th graders, that'll push us even higher up there. So really proud of our students for their hard work. To qualify for honor roll, we ask that students have a 3.5 or higher. So we have 3 categories, honor roll being 3.0 to 3.49, high honor roll being 3.5 to 3.99, and then this distinguished honor roll that's a 4.0 or higher. So just got to invite them to come in. ASB did a great job helping out with that as well, just to relax and spend some time with peers, be celebrated. They all earned a pin. They'll get an F, H, and an S pin throughout the year. So if they are on honor roll all 3 times, they'll be able to put those on their bags or whatever they would like with them, and just a little certificate to acknowledge that accomplishment. We also, last week on the 8th, Wednesday, was our College and Career Kickoff Day. We've been doing some activities leading up to college and career readiness-oriented activities. Our College and Career Center, Pam Kane and Salvador Cabrera and Raquel, also did a great job of putting together a slew of college presentations that students could sign up to attend in WPT. We had a lot of students pick and choose kind of where they wanted to be, and a lot of teachers willing to host those colleges and trade schools and universities in their classrooms to be able to support students in starting to learn about places they might want to attend for post-secondary pursuits. And it kind of culminated in last Wednesday's event. So our 9th and 10th graders had a chance to take a ELA, a math, and a science assessment, just a short piece of assessment opportunity that mirrors the standards they're learning about in their classes right now, but also looks like the CASP that they will take in 11th grade. So gave us a chance as staff and as teachers to be able to look at student responses and figure out where they are in their journey, and gave students a chance to show us what they know on an assessment that looks like the real deal. Our 11th graders had the choice of taking the PSAT or the ASVAB. Both were offered. I shared about this last month as well. What was exciting was we had some students who indicated they wanted to do both. So we have about 50 students or so who had marked that they were interested in being able to actually take both assessments and see what the results were. So we're currently working on a makeup day for students who want to take the PSAT as well. Our 12th graders had an awesome day, I hope. I had a lot of fun being there and working with them and being able to see them tackle some of those big steps for what comes next, especially for some of them that have not necessarily thought a lot about it yet. So we had a lot of students doing a variety of things, learning about trade and vocational schools. We had, the library was full of students who were getting extra support and guidance in looking at applications for community colleges. Both Palomar and Miracosta were here with providing extra support for us, along with some of our counseling team. And then our gym was full of students who were taking on the task as A to G students of tackling the 4-year application. I learned a lot looking over shoulders and helping fill in some of the blanks, and I think a lot of our students did as well. We had a ton of staff who put a huge amount of work into making that day happen. Our college and career team and our counseling team, including everybody. The whole counseling office was hanging balloons and making sure the event looked welcoming and inviting for our students, and the community came out in huge droves to donate things that we could then raffle to students at the end of the day to celebrate their hard work. So several local businesses donated things. We had restaurant gift cards that we were able to raffle out to students. We had homecoming tickets donated by ASB. We had yearbooks. So just a great day to celebrate that next step. Hopefully something that we can continue into the future. But again, definitely a day I could not have done by myself. And our testing coordinator, Megan Wibbelmo, she's been here before, acknowledged for her hard work. She works on a little bit of everything, but she had the huge lift of running 3 assessments in one day, which is really big. So the only other thing, we talked a little bit about this being homecoming week, and I really do want to applaud the team for they're going out of their comfort zone and doing a lot of really awesome stuff, and it's getting celebrated in a lot of different places and acknowledged for just the teamwork that's coming into place to get that, like that video itself. It's like hours and hours and hours of planning and prep and coordinating, getting tons of other people involved, and then the editing on the back end. I know Trinity did a lot of that as well. So, and then, yeah, the end of our trimester is 2.5 weeks from now, which seems crazy and fast. But I think our students are really doing well this trimester especially. So excited to see what next trimester holds for them. Thank you.
Next, we have report from board members. Would anyone like to go first?
Just real quick, not a whole lot to discuss. I just wanted to, I'm in the mix of the homecoming chaos, for sure. We discussed it between dresses and heels and accessories. I'm overwhelmed, but just a reminder to the students and parents and family, it's a great celebration, but please be safe. Eddie, Chris, and I, when we're on duty, like these are busy evenings, and not necessarily because of homecoming particularly, but you have a lot more students driving around, excited, distracted, and I just wanted to reiterate to be safe and make good decisions.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate you sharing that message. That's extremely important. Can you hear me out there in the audience? Okay. First off, I didn't say anything to either of the Laurens because when in my notes, I want to specifically highlight both of you and your staff, as well as our superintendent and her staff, how proud I am to be part of this district. Sorry, getting a little emotional. I've just spent the last couple of weeks in Utah helping care for my mother, as I had been before. I actually had an opportunity to go to a school board meeting while I was there, one of the largest school boards in the Salt Lake City area. And they are struggling, as almost all schools are struggling, with budget issues, having enough staff to teach student needs, facing more students that have issues require more support staff. And what was interesting is, and lots of parents spoke up, and busing issues and money issues, and the one word never popped up was students. How anything that they're doing is going to impact students. It was the inconvenience to parents. It was, we're going to have to let teachers go. We're going to have to balance the budget. It was all that. So contrary to that, while I witnessed that, sitting here every day, listening to our student leaders, thank you for stepping up and being student leaders. Look at what we're doing at our school. We're building student leadership opportunities across the board. That is huge. We are focusing on novel clubs and focus areas on our diversity and celebrating that. Doing things above and beyond. The students are going above and beyond. I know the staff goes above and beyond. I'm married to a teacher who is pretty much married to his job now. I also want to talk about the fact that we're focused constantly on student achievement. We don't just want them to be well-rounded and happy, but we also want them to find academic success, and we focus on that. We focus on making sure that their involvement, whether it's athletics, whether it's choir, whether it's any of the million other clubs and organizations, that they feel a part of that and a part of that community. Look at our community partnerships. Every single month, we recognize them. From our local businesses, thank you for thanking them, Lauren, to our local churches, our local nonprofit organizations, to our local tribal council. That is just absolutely huge. And I know of very few other schools that really recognize this in our community. We're focusing on attendance, which we know is a struggle across the nation, and implementing new programs to do that. So I'm just very proud of what all three of our high schools do, and how all three high schools really do try to define what is needed for each and every one of their students to succeed, whether it's at Fallbrook, Ivy, or Oasis. So thank you.
Just to reiterate what Tana said about how vital it is that the three of you are willing to come here and to speak in public and into a microphone and to compile information and share it with us. It's a skill set that will be more beneficial as you get older, so I commend you for being willing to do it now. It will pay dividends down the road, so keep doing it.
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you everyone for attending tonight's board meeting. I want to congratulate our counseling, administration, college and career staff members, and others for a successful kickoff to college and career event that took place a few days ago. It was really great seeing online all the different booths, presentations, and giveaways that happened. Solid collaboration amongst many departments and community members. Also, huge kudos to the ASB team. I saw that video and I watched it like maybe 15,000 times. Most of the views are mine. Best of luck to fall sports. Your season is wrapping up, and I hope that you have found success along the way. Big kudos to all booster programs as well that partner with different community groups. The football team visited several elementary schools. Our field hockey team visited the Reigns event this weekend, and they just partner with nonprofits and different organizations to bring that warrior pride to the community for the little ones and the older ones, and the animals as well. Finally, best of luck to all students as they finish up trimester 1. May you keep up with assignments and sleep well before finals. Thank you. Report from superintendent.
Thank you, Trustee Christensen, for that reminder. It's a very important one, always, but especially during times of celebration like homecoming and graduation prom. So thank you for that. And thank you, Trustee Rodarte, for your kind words. And if I could have my presentation queued up. Thank you. And something happened to my mic. Okay, I would like to start off with, let me see, there we go. With the land acknowledgement. As you know, on Monday, October 13th, 2025, we celebrated Indigenous Peoples Day. And we acknowledge that the unceded territory of California is home to nearly 200 tribal nations. We honor the original inhabitants of our various regions. Today's meeting place and the surrounding land are the ancestral homelands of the Luiseño people. We recognize that we benefit from working and living on their traditional homelands and wish to pay respects to ancestors, descendants, elders, and all other members of their communities. So tonight, I am going to be presenting our CAFS scores from 2024. As you know, juniors take the exam in the spring, and we have some very positive results, although we always strive for the continuous pursuit of excellence, which is our motto here at Fallbrook Union High School District. So here's a historical overview of our English language arts scores. The green and the blue represent students that have met or exceeded standards, while the yellow and the red represent students that nearly met standards or where standards were not met. And obviously, we always want to see that yellow and red becoming smaller, which is evident in this year's test scores. So 27.61% of our students in Fallbrook Union High School District exceeded standards in English language arts, and 31.09% met standards in English language arts. And when we put these together, you get a better idea of the percentages. So 58.7% of our students are at or above proficiency. And this is an increase of 6.09% from the previous year. In math, again, we're seeing that red and the yellow reduced, with many students that standard not met is a 10% reduction. And the green and the blue are increasing. So overall, in math, 24.73% of our students, our juniors last year, so this year seniors, are exceeding or meeting standards in mathematics, and this is an increase of 6.55% from previous years. And this is a testament not only of our students, but of our teachers and our administration at all three sites. And I want to review our subgroup enrollment comparison. So recently, we have once again been named as one of the top high schools in the nation. As you know, we also receive recognition from the from the College Placement Board. And a big part of this is our demographics and how well our students are doing. So one of our most important subgroups is English language learners. And when we compare ourselves to surrounding districts, to the state, and to the county, you will see that we have the second highest English language enrollment of surrounding districts at 21.4%, with the only highest district, or the only district having more English language learners is Valley Center Palma. But we have more English learners than the state and then the county. And because we are a high school district, I took into account, well, this will come a little bit later. This includes all students of the districts, not just juniors. Migrant students, it has decreased, but we continue to be the school district with the highest migrant student enrollment in the county and also in surrounding districts. So it's almost double the next highest district, which again is Valley Center Palma, at 4.84%. We have 8% of our students are classified as migrant students. Socioeconomically disadvantaged student enrollment, again, it is one of the highest in the surrounding area, with only Escondido High School Union District having a higher percentage than Fallbrook Union High School District. 72.93% of our students are socioeconomically disadvantaged, and what this means is that they qualify for free and reduced lunch. And students with disabilities, this is an area where many other districts are higher than we are. It's still considerably higher than the state average at 15.89%. And the reason that I present this is because many people have the idea or the perception that if you are a school that has a high number of English language learners or a high number of special education students or socioeconomically disadvantaged students or migrant students, et cetera, you are not going to perform as well as other schools. And we are here to prove that demographics do not determine destiny. So when we look at our students that are at or above proficiency in English language arts for grade 11, and here, for those districts that are unified, I only took their grade 11 scores so that the comparison can be equal. You can see that there is only one school district that outperformed us, and that would be Vista, but we're very close. They're at 61.78%. Where we are at 58.70%, San Diego County at 60.44%, but we outperformed the other districts, even though, as I showed previously, our demographics show that we have higher student population in those subgroups. And then when we look at math, there are only two districts, actually three. Oceanside's very close to us. 3 districts that are outperforming us. 24.73% of our juniors were at or exceeding standards in math last year. And the only other 2 districts that outperformed us, again, were Vista, San Marcos, and Oceanside by a few percentage points. Again, this is something that I am very proud of. I'm proud of the hard work that our teachers are doing, that are continuously looking at standards. I am impressed by the hard work of our counselors who really push the A through G. We know that not every student is going to go to college. We know that many students do not choose to go to college. However, we want them to be fully prepared for whatever they wish to do in the future, and that is one of the markers of success in the future. Any questions?
What do you credit the increase? I know you kind of briefly mentioned it, but specifically in ELA and math. I mean, I'm really happy that it's gone up. So what are some of the practices that you feel have pushed that moving forward?
Yes, one of the things that we have been doing since I got here is the work around standards and being familiar with those standards and making sure that instruction is guided by standards and not by the lessons, because the standards can be taught with whichever book a teacher chooses to use. And teachers will use the books that they enjoy. And I'm talking about English specifically. However, we really promote teaching the standards through whatever piece of literature they're choosing, and to really incorporate some of our technical writing, because that's where our students struggle the most. Teachers are working in common planning time to review how students are doing on those benchmark assessments. So I know that many people view that as an additional exam, but they're very predictive of the gaps that we need to fill in order for our students to be successful at the end of the year. And it really is work, as we call it, of the teachers, for the teachers, and by the teachers. So every year around March or April, February through April, our departments get together, look at their pacing guides or their curriculum maps and decide, you know, this didn't go so well. We really feel that we should maybe teach this first, teach this second. They agree on assessments, and they're all focused on the same goal. Math did a lot of work last year on taking a very close look at, you know, what are we doing? How can we do it better? With the tutorials that we had in Warrior Pride Time for our English language learners in math, the math department also realized, oh, this is something else that we can do in addition to. Our counseling team, of course, is also instrumental in making sure that students are placed correctly and in making sure that if a student received a D, did they get a better grade in the course that followed it, in the second half of the course, to validate that D, to show proficiency, and really working on what our students learning. So learning walks is something that we've instituted from the beginning, but it started with administrators setting up or calibrating what are we looking for together. And then it moved to departments. So last year, departments, teachers basically viewed each other. And many of them asked us, what do you want? What do you want from us? What do you want? What do you want us to do? And our answer was always, we're just asking you to go into each other's classrooms, watch a lesson, and then tell us how we can best support you. So some departments have come to the conclusion, for example, that, wow, as we walk around, we realize everybody's taking notes. And that's not really helpful. So they're changing their instructional strategies. They're finding out who in their department is an expert at, maybe grouping students, cooperative learning, and they're going to them for assistance. But the professional development is really designed by the needs and what's coming out of those learning walks. One of the things that they're doing this year, PE, I believe, Ms. Toon had it yesterday, or was it theirs today? Yesterday, VAPA today, is creating a portrait of a graduate for their particular department. So many schools do a portrait of a graduate for the entire district. We are breaking it down by departments. So there's a lot of different things that teachers are engaging in that are making a difference. And then, of course, there's that whole piece of belonging, and our counselors making sure is every student engaged in something. This is work that's very powerful at Ivy, but that's making a difference in students wanting to be at school. And when you're at school, you learn a little better than when you're not.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm going to throw one more thing at it. The policy that we have with no cell phones in the classroom helps less distractions so that they're maybe paying attention or not texting each other next to each other.
You're probably right. Last year was the first year of the no cell phone policy, correct? Yes. So that does make a difference. Thank you for pointing that out.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? None? Next, agenda items. Education Services, information item, Educator Effectiveness Block Grant Update. Thank you, ladies, for joining us.
Good evening, President Caralampio, Superintendent Garza Gonzalez, and members of the board. Well-timed after Superintendent Garza Gonzalez's presentation, I do have some information for you all regarding one of our many different funding sources. Over the last few years, we have been lucky enough to be able to utilize our Educator Effectiveness Block Grant. And each year, we do an annual report that we send to the county. The total amount that we were allocated was $517,000 approximately. And if you look back over the multiple years on the far left in 2020, in 2021-22, we actually didn't utilize the funds. We had a lot of funds that were coming in through the pandemic, and so we were trying to be really strategic about utilizing the funds that were going to expire first and those that we could push out until the end of the expiration. Our Educator Effectiveness Grant ends this year, so our deadline to spend all of these funds is June 30th of 2026, and then we do an annual report on September 30th of every year. In 2022, 23, 23, 24, and 24, 25, you can see the corresponding amounts there. We actually have about $88,000 remaining that we're going to be spending this year, and a lot of that is being budgeted for things like our AP trainings, AVID Institute, we've done that over the past few years, some ethnic studies professional learning, and then possibly, depending on how many people go to different trainings, the California Math Council that our math teachers like to go to. So in 2024, 2025, this is the breakdown of those expenditures. On the far right, in that kind of light gray brown color where it says professional learning supplies. It's a little bit misleading. These are the terms that they use when you have to submit your report, but professional learning supplies is largely our contracts. So a lot of the contracts that we have are listed there on the left for you, but we, as Superintendent Garza Gonzalez said, we are engaging in a lot of work around standards alignment for our departments. And so that's really that foundational work of just making sure that they're on the same page and that they're collaborating and they're sharing best practices. And that's a system that we've been working on for the past 6 years, I believe. And then the next step beyond that is getting teachers into each other's classrooms. So part of what we've used this fund for is on their prep period so that we're not taking them out of the class when they are teaching as much as possible. We're trying to get them in their preps into each other's classrooms, and then we're paying them for that time that is lost for their preparation. We also use this money for substitute costs, and then we have some other things. We have our technology coaches, so we sent them to the Q conference last year. We have our contract with the county who's assisting us with those learning walks, and then we also have a tool that our administration uses called DigiCoach. So when they're going into classrooms, it's a quick and easy way for them to provide feedback to teachers that they're checking in on. In 23-24, a lot of that's very similar. So like I said, professional learning supplies are the contracts. We did have a few different things that we did. So we went to the California Consortium for Independent Study. Some of our teachers participated in Algebra Ambassadors, which was an opportunity for them to do more of that collaborative work around standards alignment specific to math. We also purchased a platform called Elevation to support our English language learners. So it compiles all of our data. It makes it very easy for our teachers to identify students in their class, see their scores, and then be able to strategically plan based on the needs of the students that they have. And then, like I said, we continue to pay for the AVID conference for teachers who want to go, and it's that continued work with DigiCoach as well. And then in 22-23, you can see most of those funds in that year were used for those contracts and that standards aligned instruction and those substitute costs. We did still send some teachers to the AVID conference and the Q conference, but those were a smaller sliver of the entire pot. And then in 21-22, we did not spend any of those funds. Any questions?
Is this a renewing grant? I know it runs out this year, but are we reapplying for another one? It seems like a great opportunity to help out teachers and different programs. So is it something it's just once and you're done, or can you just continue to reapply?
So this one is one and done. However, we do have some others that are coming down the line. So right now we're utilizing the Learning Recovery and Emergency Block Grant, and that's about $2 million out through 2028. So that is covering some of the similar allowable expenditures that were originally educator effectiveness. So some of these are being moved into that funding source. We're also getting a new funding source that goes out through 2029. That's approximately the same amount in the $500,000 range for very similar things. So they're calling it different things, but we're getting these different pockets here and there. Hopefully those continue.
Thank you. Next, we have action item, petition to graduate early. May I get a motion, please?
I motion for the action item petition to graduate early.
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Mr. Christensen, second by Mr. Haskell. Comments or questions? Okay, Mr. Carampio votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones is not here? And Ms. Rodarte?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, student services. Action items, student discipline cases, readmission under suspended expulsion, number 08 F2425, number 16 F2425, number 18 F2425. May I get a motion, please?
I'll move that the board approve the student discipline cases, readmission under suspended expulsion, numbers 08 F2425, 16 F2425, and 18 F2425 as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Ms. Rodarte, second by Mr. Christensen. Mr. Caralampio votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones is absent. And Ms. Rodarte?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, action item, student discipline case, approval suspended expulsion number 01F2526.
I move for the board for the action item, student discipline case approval suspension expulsion number 01F2526.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Christensen, second by Mr. Rodarte. Mr. Caralampio votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones is absent. Mr. Rodarte?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, action item, student discipline cases, readmission denied, number 11 F2425, and number 12 F2425.
I move that the board approve the denied readmission of student discipline case number 11 Foxtrot 2425 and 12 Foxtrot 2425 as presented.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Moved by Mr. Haskell, second by Mr. Rodarte. Mr. Caralampio votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones is absent. Mr. Rodarte?
Aye.
Next, business services, action item, annual resolutions number 04-2526 and number 05-2526, SDCOE signatories.
I'll move that the board approve the annual resolutions number 04-2526 and number 05-2526, SDCOE signatories as presented, which is the San Diego County Office of Education.
Second.
Okay, moved by Ms. Rodarte, second by Mr. Haskell. Comments or questions? None? Okay, Ms. Cruz, Ms. Hart, and Ms. Polson are not here. Mr. Caralampio votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones is not here. Ms. Rodarte?
Aye.
Next, action item, recommendation to approve reduction in retention and partial release of retention withheld for bid number 2324-01.1 with Waco, Inc. for the Agriculture Department Upgrades Project at Fallbrook High School.
I will move for the action item. They recommended to approve reduction in retention and partial release of retention withheld for bid number 2324-01.R1 with Waco, Inc. for the Agricultural Department Upgrades Project at Fallbrook High School.
I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Christensen, second by Ms. Rodarte. Comments or questions?
I do have a question, Brenda, if you can kind of just elaborate.
Normally, in all of our contracts, we retain the 5% retention until the job is fully complete, and we issue a notice of completion. In this case, we have already taken occupancy of the new buildings. There's still some minor punch list items, so that's why we've negotiated back and forth that if we would come to the board to ask to release half of the 5% retention, which is the 2.5, because the job is pretty much done. We're in the buildings, except there's still a few minor things here and there with the washing machine and things like that. That's why we don't want to release the entire thing yet until the punch list is completed and we file our notice of completion. But it is fair to give them the 2.5 at this time.
Absolutely. Thanks for clarifying.
Any other questions? No? Okay, Ms. Cruz, Hart, and Polson are out here. Mr. Caralampio votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones is absent. Ms. Rodarte?
Aye.
Next, Superintendent Human Resources, information item, revised new and deleted board policies and administrative regulations and exhibits.
I'll move.
Oh, it's not a motion.
The revised, new, and deleted board policies and administrative regulations are being presented as an information item for a first reading and will return as an action item at the next board meeting. Ongoing reviews and updates are necessary with board policies and administrative regulations. This review enables the district to ensure the policies, regulations, exhibits, and bylaws conform to state and federal law. The district compares its policies, regulations, exhibits, and bylaws with CSBA recommendations. Additionally, the review serves as a reminder to the governance team and staff of the operational principles and implementation guidelines for the districts. The revisions allow the district to make the necessary updates to remain compliant. Revisions will appear as a strike-through for deletions and in green highlight for additions. The revised, new, and deleted board policies, administrative regulations, and exhibits presented are informational items for first reading and will be placed on the next agenda for action.
Thank you. Next, we have action item, approve First Amendment to the 2024-2028 Superintendent Employment Agreement. Can I get a motion?
I move that the board approve the First Amendment to the 2024 to 2028 Superintendent Employment Agreement as presented.
I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Haskell, second by Ms. Rodarte. Comments or questions? None? Ms. Cruz, Hart, and Polson are not here. Mr. Carapia votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones is absent. Ms. Rodarte?
Aye.
Consent agenda. All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered by the Board of Trustees to be routine and will be enacted with one action. There's usually no discussion of these items prior to the time of the Board of Trustees vote on the motion unless members of the board request specific items to be discussed or deleted from the consent agenda. Action item, approval of consent agenda.
I'll move for the approval of the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Christensen, second by Ms. Rodarte. Student board reps are not here. Mr. Caralampio votes aye. Mr. Christensen?
Aye.
Mr. Haskell?
Aye.
Mr. Jones is absent. Ms. Rodarte?
Aye.
Thank you. Organizational matters. This is the appropriate place in the agenda for members of the board to request the superintendent provide further information regarding items discussed at this meeting and/or request that new items of business be placed on future agendas. Do we have any?
I have one. We've discussed it in the past. We haven't talked about it in a little bit. We were pursuing some alternate resources, if you will, for pool construction or modification or whatever to help with the pool through the state, different avenues. We had discussed a few avenues. Maybe just give us an update where we stand on that. I know the pool's not getting better, and revenue's not increasing by any means, and there's no donors giving out obscene amount of money. So if there's any chance that we can do something with the pool in the near future or further future, at some point, it's going to have to be done. I just want to make sure that we're still continuing that if there's any more information regarding it.
May I suggest to the board, and you can tell me, if at the next board meeting you would like me to place as an informational discussion item, a bond for 2026 as a possibility for funding the pool?
Yes, I think that would be a good start. Could we also, now that we also have the Educational Foundation, if that's an avenue that some people can contribute as well?
Yes, I'll actually bring up the things that Trustee Christensen spoke about. I just also wanted to ask if that was something that the board was willing to start discussing.
Yeah, I'm not huge on bonds, but I know the need for the pool, and I know the community's desire for a nice pool, CIF regulation pool, and different sporting avenues. And we've already spent money on pursuing alternate locations. I don't see us having the money to put in a new pool, but I think bringing it up, whether it's a bond or a random donor, however we get information out to the community to identify the obvious need for that. We've made a lot of progress with the school grounds, and I don't want the pool to end up being the last resort eyesore or pushed to the side without a good future plan, whether it's a bond specific just for the pool at a lower amount than what we discussed, but that's in the future. But I agree it should be at least something that continuing with the dialogue for the community's sake.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, date and time of next meeting. The next regular meeting of the Board of Trustees will be held on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 4:30 p.m. in the Fallbrook High School Library. Adjournment. There be no further business to come before the board. The regular meeting of October 15th, 2025 was adjourned at 7:10 by Oscar Caralampio. Thank you.